right, man. So there's a report that I'll try to put on the screen, that Jahmyr Gibbs is saying that he's going to be lining up outside this year for the Detroit Lions. So he's going to be, he got to learn the receiver formation. So now they're going to have Jahmyr Gibbs working in the receiver game. And I just did a video, I don't know when I'm going to post it, talking about him, J-Mo, and Sam Laporta, how important they're going to be. And, a lot of people are asking for the Detroit Lions to expand, give Jahmyr Gibbs the lion's share of the carries out the backfield. The problem with that is you want to keep him fresh as possible. You know what I'm saying? You want to get the most out of him. You let David Montgomery, share some of that load. That put longevity on his career. Gibbs share some of that load. That put longevity on his career. So now what I'm guessing is they want to get Jahmyr Gibbs in space. You probably see some reverses, some bubble screens, some speed outs. They want to get him in space. And what they're probably going to do is really use David Montgomery out the backfield even more. You know what I'm saying? What you might see is you might see Sanoy Vaki get out there and run some more routes. But what I think it was going to be dangerous is with Vaki, Montgomery, and Gibbs, they all have the ability to catch the ball out the backfield. So if you split Gibbs out wide, guess what? It doesn't just mean that we're going to run the football. It doesn't mean that we're just going to run the football with Montgomery and throw it to Gibbs. Guess what? Montgomery can catch it out the backfield. Sanoy Vaki can catch it and run it out the backfield. So really, you got a lot of threats. So if we can get the ball to Gibbs and some of these running backs in space out the backfield, that's also going to lighten up the box. So if you put running backs, the one thing that makes the running backs dangerous when you split them out wide, or what makes the Deebo Samuels and the Anquan Bolden so dangerous and the Golden Tate so dangerous, and, you heard Sam Laporta, St. Brown talking about Sam Laporta on the top 100, is their yards after catch. So when you go out there and you don't got DBs that like to tackle, when you got DBs who don't like to tackle, that's the problem. Now I'm putting my running backs out in space, my Barkley's out in space. Now I'm putting Jahmyr Gibbs out lining up as a receiver. Now you better hope, not only do you need that cornerback to be able to keep up with Gibbs, but he better be a short tackler. He better be a short tackler. And if he ain't, with that speed and that power that Gibbs got, it's dangerous. So it's also a way to get more touches to Montgomery, Gibbs, and also Reynolds and Vaki. It kind of spreads the wealth out a little bit more. So it's actually pretty brilliant. And we kind of knew this was kind of the maturation process for Gibbs, because Brad Holmes always said when he drafted him, he never drafted him as a receiver. He'd seen him as a weapon. He's seen him as a weapon. That's what he said. I see him as a weapon. So, last year he started catching the ball out the backfield a little bit more. He started to understand the routes in and out the breaks, catching it. And the first year he kind of struggled. This year he did well. Now, guess what? Now the next step in the process is put him out wide. So, he's going to be in that, LaDainian Tomlinson, Marshall Faulk type of thing. But I think he's kind of going to be more of a, I think they kind of going more of the Deebo Samuel thing. I think they're more looking at the Deebo Samuel things, and that would pretty much be that would pretty much be some of the just getting the ball in his hand and just letting him run through guys. So I think if Ben Johnson would have stayed as the offensive coordinator, I think he would have seen that regardless. So yeah, and I did a video, and I'm probably gonna put it up this weekend. Probably not even Friday. Probably Saturday, Sunday, or maybe even Monday, depending on how I roll. But I know the Lions didn't do a lot of improving on offense. They didn't need to. J-Mo had 1,000 yards and 58 catches last year, which is just ridiculous. So really, you got Sam Laporta, who came with an injury last year in the camp. He never really got his rhythm. Still had a great year. Now you put him, you get a healthy Sam Laporta. What he can do with the ball is it. Like really, when they talk about Ben Johnson going to Chicago, one thing he ain't bringing with him is the talent. And the talent that the Lions offense actually has, when you think about it, is pretty fucking phenomenal. They got two of the fastest guys in the league, in Gibbs and Jamison Williams. All right. Then you got one of the best receivers in the game in Amon-Ra St. Brown. We debunked the slot merchant thing. He doing it inside and outside. He doing it better outside than he is inside. Then you got Sam Laporta, one of the 5 best tight ends in football. Probably would be 2 or 3 or 1, possibly, had the injury not happened last year. I mean, just look at that. And then you look to, you got David Montgomery. You look to put in Snowy Vaki this year. You still got guys like Brock Wright that's serviceable. You got Khalif Raymond, one of the more better gadget players in the league. Then you say, I got a Tim Patrick on the outside. Then you got a quarterback that can run the show. Then you got one of the best right tackles in football. You know what I'm saying? Then you got slow and steady wins the race, Taylor Decker. Mahogany was one of your best rated players last 2 games of the year last year. Graham Glasgow steady. So yeah, they got a lot to work with. So it should be very creative in how they're going to approach this. But yeah, just because he's splitting out wide, don't mean there still ain't gonna be no opportunities for Montgomery out the backfield or Vaki out the backfield to catch the ball. One thing you know about Gibbs, he can block. So you just thinking from a receiver standpoint, what if they want to get Montgomery out there on a swing route or on a screen? Now you got Gibbs in the slot. He gonna block. So now you got one of your better blockers out there. So it's so much you can do: reverses, screens. You can shift them outside, bring them into the backfield. I mean, they have a lot to play with. The only thing is not to overdo it. That's the only thing. You got so many things you can do. That's one thing I liked about Ben Johnson. Like, he understood, I got all of this, but we gonna stick with this. We sprinkle this there and there as a switch up. And that's what I liked about it. But he stuck to what they know. The only thing I didn't really care about him, I think he tried to outsmart himself sometimes and be the smartest guy in the room. And then I feel like he should have ran the ball more. That's it. In that Washington game, you got the worst run defense. We don't even think about pass. Our defense is fucked up. Let's just run the ball, eat the clock. We at home. Let's make them play from behind. Let's eat the clock and play ball control. And that's where he messed up at. That should have been the game plan. But also that falls on Dan for not telling him, look here, we got the worst rush defense coming in. Let's run the ball and let's eat the clock up. That's what they should have did. Had the wrong game plan. That's it. Sometimes you can overthink it, but it comes with the growing pains. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance, get notifications. We go live and drop video. Hit the link in the description. You can follow me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon, Kick, Twitch, wherever I'm producing content at. Peace.